Hey guys, this is Jen Hersh with Crossroads Chiropractic and Wellness. I'm one of the on-staff corrective exercise specialists. And this video is for my clients who need a warm-up for their upper body lifts. This is good for a push day, this is good for a pull day, or just a general upper body warm-up if you tend to go into your workouts and you're really stiff. So I'm going to throw in a mix of more dynamic drills. I'm going to throw in some activations too. Just know that a couple of these are optional, and I'm going to kind of indicate what lifts they're better for, but all of these in general are a good application for warming that upper body and getting it ready for a great workout. Now, something to keep in mind, most of my clients are already on some sort of myofascial release routine. So that being the case, you may not have to do any sort of myofascial release before your lift. Now, if you're really struggling with a certain area, sure, let's throw a little bit of that on. Or if you're, new to this channel, new to lifting, refer back to my upper body foam rolling video. Generally though, if you're in a pretty good routine of doing that, you will only need a dynamic warm-up before doing your exercises. But once again, we're going to have those days where we wake up and need a little additional support. So generally for an upper body day, areas that people need a little bit more support are going to be pecs, traps, and your subscap. Especially if you're doing a lot of shoulder work or a lot of overhead pressing, you may need to myofascially release your subscap and your tricep. It's like I don't know what I'm talking about. If you're going to be doing a lot of bench work, right, you may need to get that subscap and that pectoral to get some nice activation going. If you're one of those people that when you do a lot of back day, your traps want to take over, you may want to go through and release those traps, whether it's with a ball, with a roller. Refer back to my other video for that if you want a lot more in-depth, but those are just some general examples. So what I'm going to be going through are some essentially dynamic warm-ups and some activations for mid-back muscles, shoulders, and pecs. Most of my clients are dealing with a lack of activation through mid-back and shoulder blades, which kind of causes us to, to be one of these numbers, right? So before that workout, we want to wake up that mid-back tissue in order to create a really good shelf, whether it's being able to pin the shoulder blades back for a bench press or being able to create that shelf in a front squat. All of this applies for that. So even if you're doing a lot of front squats that day, this could be helpful for you as well. We can actually thank Dr. Andrew Locke for these. Now, I'm going to show you sitting up the positions to start just because of the lack of having a cameraman and the microphone. I might end up sounding a little Charlie Brownish through this, or Charlie Brown's teacher, I should say. So I'm going to be on my stomach, and I'm going to pulse this way. I'm going to rotate, pulse this way, rotate, pulse this way, and then my hands are going to be behind my back, or behind the back of my head. Generally for activations, you're going to do 1 to 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. This is not to like really fatigue your muscles. This is to wake them up. So we don't want them too tired before your upper body day. This is just, let's get some, movement communication. So what that looks like is I'm going to keep a neutral core. So I have to kind of keep like core activated, glutes slightly activated here. I'm going to have my hands like this. If you need to rest your nose, you can. It's wherever you feel like your neck and your low back or neck and core are neutral. So notice I had to kind of like pull my core in to make me neutral. I'm going to give, 5 squeezes here, 5 squeezes here, that mid back, 5 squeezes here, and then 5 squeezes here. Really, you want to make sure you're not feeling any of that in your low back. If you're feeling any of that in your low back, activate your core, activate your glutes, shorten your range of motion. You can do like I did without any pauses, or you can do reps and pause, reps and pause, reps and pause, whatever you need to do for your body where you're at that day, because that may change. Now, that's to get some really good mid-back activation. If you need to do these in different orders, according to where you're at, that's fine. This next drill could be done beforehand or after, depending what you need. Some people need to be mobilized beforehand to feel that drill. Some people don't. So I like to throw those out as different options. Now, the next one is I'm going to be up against a bench, nice neutral core. See how this bench is in line with my shoulders? So it's right through there. I'm going to pin this one just so it doesn't tip. You can also sit on a bench and the bar can be behind you as if you're getting ready to do a bench press. Those are options as well. So I'm going to create my nice shelf here, neutral core, inhale, big stretch, exhale, come back. I like to treat that exhale as a little bit of a crunch just to get some anterior core going. I also like to kind of fight my bracing for this. Practicing filling that cocan, practicing good bracing, I'll make another video on core bracing later, but trying to make sure that I'm getting that nice stretch through that. For a few of my clients in particular, we tend to end up with really tight, basically rotation, and we end up with really, really tight collarbones. This is a bonus round. You know who you are. So I'm going to take my broomstick, right? In general, you'll see like a lot of these things like to mobilize shoulders. That's great. If you're really, really hypermobile, I would not be focusing on that drill as much because like for me, this is nothing. Like I can do circles here, right? If you're not hypermobile, once again, this will apply to you. Now, I'm going to put this bar back here, kind of middle of shoulders, and I'm going to breathe into it. Once again, I'm not letting my rib cage arch, but I'm going to breathe into it. Get that nice stretch through there. I can feel a little bit through pectoral, a little bit through collarbone. If we're doing some rotation base that day, we can also breathe into it and treat this like a sprinkler. I like this for that mid-back tightness. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create that nice little pinch through the shoulder blades and use my breath to rotate while keeping that bar flush in the back of my shoulders. That's really good for those tight kind of X's through the middle of your back. Now, this next one is more if you're doing overhead work for the day. Now, for the sake of the camera, I don't have a lot of room to do this, so I'll show you in two parts. My hand is actually rotating with me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get plenty of space here. I'm parallel. This hand is going down, and the goal is to push that dumbbell straight up to the ceiling. Notice even from this angle you can tell my arm is in the exact same line up and down, and what my hand is doing, kind of like your Turkish get-up, right? But I'm rotating through just like this. This can be done with a dumbbell. This can also be done with a racked kettlebell. That ends up being very helpful as well. That focus is more for your overhead press days. Now the last one is everybody's favorite when it comes to upper body warm-ups. And I say that with a great deal of sarcasm, but they are wonderful dynamic drills and a dynamic warm-up. Who doesn't want some bear crawls in their life? If you're one of my clients, I can already hear you groaning because we do a lot of these. Now, we don't just go forward, we go backward as well. And what I like about bear crawls is everyone perceives like you have to have tons of space to do it. I only have 3 squares of mat here, right? And I can still go forward and backward. Now, of course, that's going to be more effective the more space you have when it comes to getting big reaches. But I'm just popping up to here and keeping hips level with the ground, right? Keeping my butt down and working that bear crawl back and forth to tolerance. It's great for core. It's great for waking up all your communication. It's great for getting your heart rate up a little bit, which is all the things we want a dynamic warm-up to do. If you guys have any more questions, concerns, comments, all that fun YouTube stuff, feel free to like and subscribe and comment. Let me know. If you're one of my clients, then I'll be emailing you this video. If you're not one of my clients and have questions, I'd love to know what content do you guys want and if this helped you, because ultimately that's our only goal here. So good luck on those lifts. Get all those gains.